once again at Bat Chat. I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Steve Baxi.
Steve, today I'd like to make a prophecy.
Oh, okay.
And that prophecy is that sometime during the next 22 minutes, you and I are going to fall into a fit of laughter and not be able to control ourselves to actually continue speaking anything like articulately about this episode.
I think that's a reasonable prediction to make. Because, oh boy.
I guess, okay, no, I guess you can't just, like off the top of your head, make up a prophecy. I was reading a book today, Steve, and it was like, here's this prophecy. So today we're doing Prophecy of Doom. Ooh. This is one of the most preposterous episodes of this series.
It's hilariously bad, though. It's really bad. It's kind of unwatchable, but every now and then it's great as a drinking game.
I don't think it's unwatchable. I think it's almost in the so bad it's good category. I like it as a piece of ridiculous.
Yeah, that's fair. Because you don't really get episodes like this very often. You get the crazy ones, but this is just insane in some respects.
And sometimes I don't know if this is even playing at being as good at this as the show is, because there are places, and we'll talk about it in the dialogue and stuff, where I think it knows how bad it is, and it's
maybe
totally fine with that. Well, anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So, if you're going to watch the show with us, go ahead and get out your DVDs, your Blu-rays, however you want to. I guess we discovered that there aren't Blu-rays for this show.
Apparently not. I could have sworn they were, because they released a collector's edition at some point.
Okay. I don't know. Or watch it on Amazon Prime like we are. Get it to timestamp 0 and get ready to press play as soon as I say now. Steve, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Prophecy of Doom. Everybody, please press play right now.
And of course, keeping with our tradition, this episode gets the original intro.
Yep, because it's not a great episode.
Yeah.
So Steve, what I'd like to do this time, since we both got this intro this time, is I want to add all the sound effects that aren't there.
Okay.
So I don't have to do this one because there's an explosion sound effect right here. You know, it's there. Or is it just in the soundtrack? I don't remember.
It's hard to tell.
And then but then that's also still kind of in the soundtrack. You know, and then the cars running like, and then woo 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 woo. Then and guys running, so you got like a pitter patter of footsteps. There's no like sound for narrowing your eyes.
Effect. That guy made no thud there.
And then I'm gonna assume there's like sirens now. Woo, woo, woo. And then I don't have to add that. Really, they're really kind of random about what sound effects they put in that intro.
I don't know if they actually just composed those with the music though, because if that's the case, then maybe they had like a limited amount of things they could do with it. But it's hard to know.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah,
if that's what they did.
Yeah, just from this opening, it gets kind of ridiculous. We'll get to a point later down the line where Bruce Wayne thinks this is smart enough to grace with a Shakespeare quote. But as of right now, it's a really bad Titanic sort of situation. And Titanic isn't that great to begin with, but...
Would you agree if I were to... Well, and this is pre-Titanic.
Oh, yeah, it is. This is like, what, 92, 93?
93, 90, yeah. It's somewhere in those 2 years, Steve. Would you agree with me if I were to say that this is, of the episodes we've done so far, probably the most inconsistent animation-wise?
Yes, I think that's a fair assessment to make. I don't know what happened with this episode. There's no production notes, but there's lots of mistakes. There's lots of weird animation stuff, and there's lots of background things that just don't make any sense. Like, we'll get to a point where there are several time zone clocks, and they're all wrong.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, there's lots of inconsistent animation here. Even some of the music work isn't particularly great here.
I felt the same way. There are a couple Oh, wait, watch the fish! Watch the cartoon
When
fish!
did that become Tom and Jerry?
Oh, God! That just cracks me up. There's this cartoon fish!
Oh, there it is!
There it is! He goes, ah!
See, somewhere in this episode, Tom and Jerry are running around, and we just don't see them.
See, Steve, it's funny because that goldfish got killed by water.
I just don't find myself feeling bad for the fish, considering he drowned.
I just don't feel like the fish got enough of a backstory for me to care.
Yeah, neither did I. Although he did have a very compelling performance.
This is one of the more like early Warner Brothers cartoon looking episodes, right? Like
Yeah.
it feels like it's deriving a lot from that era, and I like it when it does that with like the Fleischer looking stuff. But this is almost going to more of like the more phoned in work, right?
Yeah.
Or at least the stuff that's not as detailed. That's not fair, but not as detailed. Really, like as the ship is sinking, the waves aren't even moving.
Yeah.
At the beginning, you had the ship, and it just looks like a cardboard cutout that's just moving across. It really looks like a kid drew it,
Yeah.
and then like drew a picture on top of another picture and just pulled it across and went toot toot.
And that's crazy because the episode right before this, the episodes right after this, they're doing a lot of things where it would be hard to animate, and they're doing it just because it's a challenge. Here, they're doing everything the cheap way.
So Nostramos, really?
Yeah.
Nostramos. All right.
And he's got a really weird look.
Yeah, it's a cross between Doctor Strange and this series Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. He's a really strange character. And I mean, he's not as strange as like Baby Doll necessarily, but he's up there. Even some of the voice work in this episode's kind of off.
This episode is the reason I like. This is not entirely true. This episode is like the reason I like Maxie Zeus, because compared to this,
yeah, you're right.
Bruce Wayne's look there. So he's talking to this girl, and she's like, I think that guy is like making things happen. He's not really predicting the future. And then Bruce has this look, and I can't decide if it's I thought that too, or oh my god, you're right, I should look into that.
Or when a guy's got eyebrows like this, you just gotta know he's up to something. There's no good person with parted eyebrows like that.
There's an episode of The Tick in first season called The Tick versus Mr. Mental, and this guy reminds me a little bit of Mr. Mental, except that Mr. Mental actually had mind powers. He wasn't he wasn't a scam artist.
There's a Batman story where he faces off against Deacon Blackfire. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Bruce Wayne, this is sorry.
Yeah. No, there's an episode where Batman faces off against Deacon Blackfire, and it's essentially like a cult episode, a little bit like this. I don't know if it's taking some cues from it, but it's a really good story, and it kind of makes me wish this episode was good, because Batman fighting a cult is a really interesting idea to do in this show.
Yeah, and Batman's always fighting against corruption, and this is corruption of a different type.
Yeah. And I mean, the way he's kind of controlling these people and the sort of theatrical performance he's giving, there's a lot you could say about Batman's manipulation of people through fear versus manipulation through con artists or whatever your motives are, and the ways you can parallel that. They do that in the Batman story with Deacon Blackfire.
Theatricality and that kind of thing, yeah, where he's using that sort of deception. Once again, we're going to see a totally different Batcomputer. This is one of the weirder looking Batcomputers.
Yeah, it is. It feels a lot more almost Flash Gordon.
I love the giant buttons that he pretends like he's typing with like normal typing, but he's got to put like all of his fingers on one button at a time.
He's literally doing what you're doing though. He's just going up and down.
Batman, it's like Batman, don't you know how to type? No, I have to hunt and peck because I made the weirdest keyboard imaginable. It's for someone with fingers 5 times larger than my own.
And that's why I love that moment at the beginning of Zero.
This guy has no last name.
He also looks more like a Looney Tunes style bad guy.
Right?
I love the part in Zero Year where Batman gets his Batcomputer and Alfred's like, this is kind of giant, and Bruce is like, Batman doesn't do subtle, Alfred.
Right, it's like, yeah, but I'm just letting you know, you're not a giant.
You're right. There's a lot of like lazy animation here. Like this is all really empty. There's no detail anywhere. All the character designs are really generic. It's not usually the way they do.
Not a real inspired script, and it's like everybody knew it.
Yeah.
The message is pretty obvious and not particularly compelling.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know the story with this episode. No one talks
Don't
about
be
it.
gullible, folks.
Um,
If somebody is flying around the room and is able to make glass shatter by looking at it, you might want to look into that, because instead of just assuming you can do that, because how many evil computers has Kirk blown up?
I mean, I don't know. I trust a
It's the
guy
same
named
kind of thing.
Nostramos, so.
One thing I do really like, we'll see it later, one thing I do really like is the hook in the back of his robe.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
It's like, don't turn around. Whatever you do, don't turn around.
Yeah, that's great.
I want to remind you, Steve, that Batman they're playing up Batman as like being really smart, that he's not gullible enough to fall for this. He's not naive. Can we remember though that this is the same guy who saw a person in an early episode in a green cape and was like, "Is that?" It wasn't a. He didn't say leprechaun. What was it?
He does say leprechaun, doesn't he?
Was it no? Wasn't it? Was it a gremlin or a leprechaun?
I think it was a leprechaun.
Oh my god! Yeah, he's like, I think it's a leprechaun.
Yeah, he
Alfred.
really believed it for a few minutes.
Really believed it. Let's just remember, this is the guy who thought that a person in a cape was a leprechaun.
Whoa, that's gotta have blood. He just bataranged the guy's leg. There is no blood though, and that's kind of violent still.
You are having a hard time watching anything from 20 years ago after seeing Daredevil, aren't you?
I am.
Steve.
I am. Batman should be beating this guy to a bloody pulp. I want a oneer where he just beats everyone up, and it's the most exhausting, painful looking thing ever.
It could be way more over the top. It could be Gotham.
It could be.
If it was Gotham, he would throw that batarang, and then the whole guy's leg would have come off, and they would have given us an insert shot where we saw him flying with blood coming out of it, and then we would go back to that guy and he'd be like, ah!
This guy is so theatrical, it's hilarious. Does he sound a little bit like Mark Hamill to you?
Yeah, I thought he did too.
I know
This
it's
is a guy
not
that doesn't
him,
have to
but-
go to the gym, because he gets a workout just talking to people.
Yeah, he's just waving his arms around. I love that little thing he says before people answer the phone. And then those giant eyes. What was with that?
That was also a really weird cross frame thing.
Yeah.
Where like you had two people on the phone, but at one point it's jagged, where instead of just putting a line between the two, it like cuts off at some point. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, that's
This is
a little
episode.
strange. I also love that he has fake hair. We see in the other shot where he's got a wig.
That's pretty funny. I rejoice in your soaring consciousness, Steve.
Oh, that's great. Why does he have to be so theatrical? It's just weird.
But everybody's super melodramatic in this episode.
Yeah, they are. I don't know who this woman is. She just kind of shows up for this episode and then never shows up ever again.
We just need we need somebody with women's intuition to be able to see through this guy's really believable and compelling scam, Steve.
And as we learned during Cat in the Claw, Batman is an equal opportunity crime fighter, so he's gonna accept help from women.
That's right. That's right. Like, at least that's what he said. But he'll be really surprised when they show up and they're competent at doing anything. Batman, you can't. I'm a woman. Oh, I'm sorry. And I guess now you're gonna knock me off a roof because I'm so gullible.
That's part of the reason I can't watch Batman Returns, because that scene.
Did you see the T Fury shirt today?
I didn't.
There's a Batman Returns T Fury shirt.
Oh my god, I gotta get that.
With Catwoman and the sign that she had in her apartment behind it. I don't know why I'm bringing that up. By the time this airs, or by the time we post this, it won't be up anymore. But that was pretty cool.
I need to see that. Oh wow, I didn't
I'm
even
thinking about getting it.
I would want that. That's awesome. So this guy's little I forget what even the word is. Auditorium, astronomium, whatever.
Yeah.
It looks terrible. It looks so over the top theatrical.
He's looking right into the camera.
The way he's just
He's got this penetrating stare at me. I'm gonna do the rest of the commentary like it.
I think I might just join you.
sorry. What's happening on this show?
Lots of random busts. Again, just
Oh,
really lazy looking animation. No detail
Yeah.
anywhere.
If this was Futurama, those heads would start talking.
I wish that would happen. I kind of want Talking Head Nixon just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Um,
I love how in that show, even people we know are dead or have heads that are alive.
yeah, because of magic DNA technology or whatever. This guy though, I get the sense that the actors at least having a lot of fun because they're animating him so over the top and oh yep, there he is. He's gonna float. He's gonna float over people and everyone's
Okay,
gonna
so
get.
here's one of the goofiest things in this episode. You see the hook, but you never see the line. I guess it's such a good invisible line that even when, no matter how it's lit, you can never see it. But then later on, when Batman gets a hold of the control room and he starts doing that, I guess he's always attached to it and it never gets wrapped up or anything. And you have people that walk like all the way around him and everywhere, and you're just like, how does that work? Does he have to like take it off when he leaves a room and hope nobody notices?
Yeah, he just kind of sits there until everyone leaves awkwardly.
I think it's important that when you've got a guy that's predicting massive social upheaval, that he needs to predict at least one or two really good things, right? If this guy was really smart, he would also stage good things that happen.
Yeah, he
Because
just
it'll be
keeps
a lot
saving people
easier for
from
people to.
death, so it's kind of strange.
Okay, really? Okay, this is, of all the crazy theatrical stuff with Nostradamus and everything, the funniest thing in this whole episode to me is Batman randomly pulling out his grappling
Just
hook,
shooting it to the camera.
pointing it at the camera, and doing nothing with it. And then he puts it back away, like, why
was
did
that
you
for?
do that? It didn't go with anything he was saying. I was watching this with Jason, and Jason reacted to that. He was like, Dad, why did he pull out his grappling hook? And I was like, he's just pregnant. That car has
What's
no
with that
license plate.
lion?
This is how little effort we put in this episode. We just got a car parked that somebody needs to give that guy a ticket. He's got no license plate.
And he just parks it right in front of the stairs.
Oh my god! And then this is how two-dimensional, really melodramatic villain this guy is. He's like, we're going witches pigs. What does that even mean? And then he's like, ah,
He had to do the gag with the wig and trying to put it on straight and everything.
I will say that there's some animation stuff here in the climax, in the big climactic action sequence, that's better and kind of fun. But I feel like we've kind of seen it before. They have another excuse to do black and white and stuff.
Yeah. There's a couple things here and there. But overall, it's just kind of goofy for the goofiness sake. Like look at
Really,
this imagery. It's just so strange.
That guy's gonna see right through you if you turn around, or maybe not. This guy's pretty. And then he's like, I can't believe I was so gullible, and I was like, yeah, it's because the script said you're gonna be gullible, and then later on you're not anymore. Okay, that's the best line of the whole episode. I see a bad moon rising.
See, that just makes me think of the
a
Matt
bad
Wagner stories,
moon
Dark Moon
rising.
Rising.
I just can't believe he even said that. It just cracks me up. Now he's just quoting popular songs.
He looks like he could be in like an 80s music video though, no?
Yeah.
He's totally got that
I
going
can put him
for
in
him.
a lot of things. I mean, you mentioned Flash Gordon earlier. I mean, I can put him in. Oh my God! Oh, he did it! He turned around. They saw the hook.
And no one cares.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter now because he's like tying him up and stuff, but he's still putting on this air.
And this is kind of fun.
Wow.
Yeah. Just how typical 90s TV cartoon.
Okay, so Dark Knight Rises Bane needs to come to this guy.
I thought he did. That's why that movie was the way it was.
These people are idiots, Steve. Wow. We look at this control. So this guy does nothing halfway, yes?
So the number of gears we just saw is preposterous. Or,
Is it preposterous, Steve?
Preposterous.
Absolutely preposterous.
It's insane. There's no way those many gears would do anything.
It's Nostroposterous.
Preposterous. Yes.
Nostroposterous.
Preposterous. That's cool. That's a cool animation.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's not bad.
A lot of people think Nostradamus was Nostrapreposterous.
Yeah, I mean, when you've never taken any Greek, yeah.
But that just cracks me up. The guy's like, yeah, but every horrible thing the guy's predicted has come true.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be like, tonight, somebody's gonna break into your house. And I'm gonna break into his house. I mean, obviously. He's got joysticks, like he's gonna play Galaga.
Yeah. Oh, we need the giant danger indicator.
And see, that's one of the reasons that I have a hard time watching this episode and feeling like anybody working on it was taking it seriously. Like, it's if you, I don't know, if you look at this on the level of, let's just do a really, really ridiculous, like, 1940s Warner Brothers cartoon, it works on that level.
Yeah, kind of.
If there was no dialogue, it would work better.
I mean, I guess they just need a break between Grey Ghost and Clayface.
And this stuff's kind of fun.
I feel bad for the guys as far as airing goes, because after you watch Prophecy of Doom, you've got to watch The Forgotten, and both of those episodes in a row would just kind of kill the series for you.
Ugh. You might not tune in the week after. It's like watching the first half of the first season of The Batman.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta give it some time.
Okay, so explain this to me. Why, except that we want something really dangerous that could maybe slice right through this girl, would you have really sharp blades on Saturn's rings? Why
what planetarium has got that?
Yeah, where did Nostrapreposterous get that?
I think that's a much better name for him, though, Nostrapreposterous. They're so delicate you can kick through them, but apparently one of them's got a blade that can slice through a person. Okay.
Did that guy throw a kick and then Batman just grabbed his leg and held it for a minute?
No, he got stuck in the planet.
Oh, okay.
Because they're so delicate.
Normal view.
See, this is just crazy. I don't understand who designed this.
Why is it like this? Yeah, it's pretty great. But it's kind of fun having this silly context for Batman to get to ride on planets. They have like all these planets going out of orbit. See, it's a deep metaphor, Steve. This guy's world is you see out of control, and he's
making the worlds of everyone else crumble, and so by extension he loses his.
That's right. It's all spinning. It's spinning out of. His whole world spun out of orbit. It's a little on the nose because she said that. She's like, or somebody said that. So it was like, oh, oh no, I know. It was the henchman fighting Batman. He's like, you're about to go into orbit, Batman, or whatever it was he said. I was like, really? We have those kind of one-liners? Okay. But yeah, like, they give you that like flicker of light. Like, this is the sharpest thing.
So does this episode kind of scream of, you could remake this as a Batman 66 comic book?
Somebody should do that.
I feel like this is perfect for that.
Except this time his name will be Nostradamus.
Yes, exactly. Rename him Nostradamus and you're good.
DA predicts life. Oh, I see what you did there. Oh, you know what? We got to give this episode more credit though, because they totally paid something off, Steve.
Oh, they did.
Because the way Batman handled the end of that, that whole thing finished off was he used his grappling hook. See, he was practicing that earlier.
Did we have to end this with a quote from Julius Caesar? Really? Really?
And how well did that even really fit?
Where did it come from? Who does that? Who says that in conversation?
You, actually.
Oh, maybe, but still.
Yeah, if Batman was a philosophy major.
Oh boy, that was
fun.
My
God. Well, I think that guy's more memorable now that I've watched this with you, Steve.
I think so too. Because those arm movements all over the place.
I especially love the one. I did the one that you reacted to most, where we both looked at him and was like, "You're doing this." He's like, ah.
Oh, it's that was fun. All of the staring into the camera. I love it.
Wow. Okay. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, next time we're doing Clayface, which has been kind of long waited, and it seems like last couple weeks I keep jumping the gun and go, we're doing Clayface, and you're like, no,
kind of excited.
We gotta watch Nostradamus first. Next time, we're going to do Clayface. I'm very excited about it. Two-parter. Tune in for that. And you might see Steve and I duking it out a little bit, or maybe one of us can persuade the other just a little bit.
Yeah,
Let's see what
we'll see how it goes. I haven't seen that episode in a little while, but we'll see.
Everybody, thanks so much for watching. We sure appreciate it. We'll see you again next week on Bat Chat. I am Captain Logan.
And I'm Steve Baxley.
See you later.